All right, so looking at Tesla shares, they're up right now in the pre-market, despite the numbers maybe being a bit disappointing. It seems like a lot of that is due to Elon Musk saying he's going to get back to focusing more on Tesla. You've worked with him. What does that mean for him to go from something that he seems passionate about when we're talking about Doge to go back to, I guess, his main job? When he says he's going to focus more on that, what exactly does that mean in your experience?
I think the key, we have to take this as a great news for the company, and to understand that you have to step back a little bit and look at the real situation of the company that came out of the results announced yesterday, and the real situation that we've seen from the past few months. Company, if you look at the results from yesterday, for the first time in many years, the automotive segment, if you remove the credits, the profit made from selling zero-emission credits to other manufacturers, the automotive segment by itself has lost money. That's a big deal. So that requires a big shakeup, a big focus on two things: essentially, the new products to be launched, and acceleration of the move to the robotaxi initiative. So having the CEO back focusing on these two major initiatives is obviously great news for the company, but it doesn't reduce the nature of the challenge, which is absolutely huge for the company. Not the first time, but something really significant they're going to have to pull off to make this happen.
All right, let's talk a little bit about that challenge. Tesla seeing falling sales in a number of different regions, including the EU and China. Some of that has to do with price, at least with China. At the same time, margins have been under quite a bit of pressure. When we're looking at Tesla long term, you mentioned robotaxi. That's obviously a very important play for this company. As they go forward, do they want to create lower cost models to kind of get a bigger installed base? Do they want to create these new models that may potentially, cost more money? How does Tesla compete going forward and also fulfill its long-term promise of having a lot of robotaxis on the roads, which are vehicles owned by people that can also be used as robotaxis?
I think it's a combination of both. What has made Tesla successful in the last decades is this ability to create innovative products that customers love, and at the same time, it's going through larger portions of the segments of the market with lower cost vehicles. With regards to the robotaxi, we shouldn't underestimate the magnitude of the challenge to make this new line of business work for Tesla. They first have to solve for good the self-driving and the autonomous vehicle challenge. They're running behind. That's a reality. There's many players that are probably a few years ahead. Tesla has to catch up on that. Then once you solve the self-driving challenge, able to have cars drive autonomously, safely, reliably throughout cities, you have to create a real business out of it. And that takes time, takes a lot of capital, takes a lot of effort. And again, there's a lot of people that are already there that have been doing this and experiencing for several years, like Lyft and Uber partnering with Waymo. So these are all competitive threats that are going to make the challenge really difficult for Tesla. I want to say it's actually... Yeah, go ahead.
No, please go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
And I was going to say the fact that the challenge is difficult for Tesla is actually good news for us as consumers, because it means that there's competitors, whether it's on the EV market or on the autonomous and the robotaxi. There's competitors that are out there that have innovative, that are providing solutions that customers love. So that's good for everybody. Lower prices, more competition, and better service for everybody.
Before I let you go, I got to ask you about what you're doing with DVX Ventures and also your ETF, the AIS ETF. It's the Internet Artificial Intelligence Supercycle ETF. I'm looking, since this trade war started on April 3rd, or the tariffs were announced, I should say, it's down double digits, actually hit harder than the Mag 7 and other parts of the market. What's going on when it comes to this whole idea of an AI supercycle and this AI build out? Yesterday, we got some reports that Amazon may be slowing down some of its CapEx plans when it comes to data centers. What's going on when you're looking at that sector and your ETF? Are you thinking about maybe rebalancing, adding some different companies? How are you viewing all this?
Yeah, I think so a little bit of context around what we're doing here at DVX. So we make the observation that in our world, there's regularly this big, what we call super cycles, these mega trends, technology-driven, that change the society, change the world, change the way we work, etc. And it's been very difficult for investors to participate in these super cycles because the existing products, usually ETFs, thematic ETF, tend to focus on a couple of very big names. Take AI, a lot of people focus on NVIDIA, for example. And we realize that there's a lot of activity going on during a super cycle that investors can benefit from if they look at under the hood of all the players, that participate in the super cycle. For AI, think of all the work, all the infrastructure needed to build these data centers. So we build the artificial intelligence super cycle ETF with that concept of mind. We call it the bill of material. Now, to your point about temporary drop in prices linked to all the uncertainty that is going on in the world, we don't think that's reflective of the reality that is the AI is going to be the next super cycle. It is going to change the world. It is going to change absolutely everything in the way we work, in the way we live. And we've built this ETF to reflect this long-term trend over the coming years. So absolutely not worried. We actually think we're on the right track with the way we build this ETF to participate in this mega cycle that is going to happen.